It's time for the Everyman, where real man talk.
Let's go. Time to grind, get inside your mind. Yeah, we working overtime. That's the only way to climb. We gon' make it in our prime. Signing on the dotted line, cashing checks left and right. That's the way I'm living life.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Everyman podcast. It's 2024, so this is technically, boys, our second year of doing a podcast. How are you both doing? Did you have a good time off?
Yeah,
Go on, James.
good for me. Obviously, I was quit my last job, so I'm in the process of. I was in the process since November of starting my new job, which I started on the 2nd. So I had quite a bit of time off over Christmas and New Year. Bought a new house, so moved in, doing a lot of renovating and stuff, which has been good and stressful at the same time because there's so much I want to do, but just don't have the money to do it, to be honest. But it'll all come with time. But yeah, had a good time off. It's good to be back, and Happy New Year to you all.
Yeah.
Good man, happy New
It
Year,
sounds like
mate.
he's had a really busy one, like moving from the top of Scotland back down to home and changing jobs, buying your first home properly with my sister. And I have to be honest, they have such a cool house. Yeah, you guys have absolutely smashed it.
Cheers, mate.
Dean, how was your bit of time off, mate?
It's good. I'm just sick of drinking. I think we've had this conversation off pod quite a bit, saying like it's so hard because I'm like not really that bothered about drinking now, but like at the time it's hard just to say no, isn't it? So like diets not been too bad over Christmas. I hadn't got weighed at all over Christmas. I thought I'll just leave it, see how it goes. And then when I got weighed, I'd put on like 4 kilos, which really, for the amount of food I ate, and I'm fairly happy with that. Compared to last year, I'm like sort of 10 kilos down on where I was starting. So hopefully by next November I can be 80 kilos and just progress from there. But I'm really excited just to kick on now, and haven't really got any plans to like any real reason that I would need to drink after Derby Day. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what this year holds, physically, like fitness wise, and how I progress. Really, what about yourself, son?
Mate, I think you've just hit the nail on the head. I had a really busy few months socially I think really from my birthday, early November. Obviously, I got injured, knacked my shoulder, so that was the excuse. Thanks, Leah. That was the excuse in my own head to stop training. We were going to the gym nearly every day. We were running nearly every day, so I was in a really good rhythm. And then October came, got injured, and then November, December, I had so many socials with work. I had so many socials with like football team nights out, birthdays, all those sorts of things, where I just really fell out of a bit of a rhythm that I was in. So probably quite like you, I'm ready to really get on a health kick. I say that after having spent a weekend in London and Portsmouth, and then I'm about to spend Wednesday, Thursday in Birmingham this week. Well, there's a bit of a social on the Thursday night, but post that, that's my social life reined in a little bit just to try and get back on a bit of a health kick, feel good. The clothes have got a little bit tighter. I don't feel quite as fit. I think football coming back this weekend will make a massive difference. So yeah, super, super excited for it. So we probably have to apologise to the audience. We did have Imogen booked on for tonight, and she hasn't been able to get on. So the title is misleading based on where we are at. We will rearrange with Imogen to get her back on. But once we've set up the pod for to go live, basically, we are unable to change the title. So there's no Imogen tonight. But we will absolutely do this off the cuff. There's no real topic other than there's plenty of things in my head I want to ask you guys and talk about. I think a big one would be 2024. What's your plans? What do you want to get out of 2024? It's new year, new me. we're a mental health or a health podcast. What are your sort of health goals and personal goals for this year?
I'd like to get some sort of regular exercise routine going, some sort of rhythm, you know. Like I'm on a permanent day shift now as well, so it's like Monday to Friday at work. So I should be able to find some sort of, you know, routine where I can implement exercise and fitness. But
Yeah.
where I'm working is an hour away, so you know sometimes after a day of work, driving home, especially in the dark as well, you just get home and you just want to sit on the couch and just watch something. So it's just basically getting my head out my arse and just starting to kick myself into gear. You know, new year, new me, and all that. So
Mhm.
I just got to get it all started, I think, and then just go from there. But yeah, definitely a lot more fitness this year. I'm hoping. Um, yeah, and a lot more social activities, but not involving drinking. Because I think
Yeah.
we're all feel the same after the Christmas period, don't we? Where it's just drink, drink, drink. Like you go on like a full week bender. You're just drinking pretty much every day, and I think everyone gets sick of it. But you just feel like you have to because there's so much going on. But I think it's a massive relief when you go past midnight on, you know, December 31st, and then you're like, right, time to get started. And
Till there's a derby day on the 6th.
well,
Yeah.
that's
I don't think we talked about that yet, have we?
yeah, what you want. You're in the Champions League this year. You're obviously so.
Just a quality team.
No, I don't think anyone expected us to win, but I think a lot of people wanted Sunderland to win over Newcastle because you just got
Yeah,
a shit
Beckham's.
fan base, really. Well, yeah, it was pretty much we give you all the goals. Really, there was a mistake off the free kick, and then there was you know, our centre back giving a penalty in an own goal. So
Probably would have been better if he did get sent off, because then he probably wouldn't have made all their mistakes and give with the next 3.
No, yeah, you're not wrong, but yeah,
Where did,
that's me this journey.
We've discussed about this before, and we are definitely not going to be a podcast that talks about Sunderland very often. But I found it really weird that you guys went from Tony Mowbray to that Beale.
Molly.
It just feels like an odd appointment.
I honestly don't think we should have got rid of Mowbray personally. Like he made some questionable decisions like the last few games, but like taking off our only striker for a midfielder, it's like what's the crack with that? Like we hadn't had a striker score since last April, and he scored two Saturdays ago. I think our first striker getting a goal since last April, which is an absolutely insane stat. It's shocking, and then we're subbing them off like before, like for midfielders, and we've got 3 on the bench, two strikers on the bench.
Are you sure he's not called Stevie Smith?
Honestly, mate, we got that Mickey Beale, who I'd never personally heard of before. But we were linked with Will Still. Don't know if Will Still was involved in that at all. Like, but when you're linked with him, and then you get someone that you haven't heard of, and then he did come in, and we got 7 out of 9 points, and a striker scored. So I was like, right, okay, that's feeling good. And then we just need to like not let the derby loss get to us, because obviously you're a much bigger team than us at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, Champions League this season, you know, we can't let it get to us. So I think if we go in the next game and just go for the 3 points, like I think we'll be fine.
It was a bit of a peculiar one for me, like, because although it was Derby Day, it didn't have the same kind of like feeling to it, because it was expected. Like there was a lot of pressure on us because it was a free hit for you. Like you say, everyone just expected you to lose. So it didn't before the day. It didn't really feel like it, but then on the day, it turned out quite well. I'd originally planned to go out and just have non-alcoholic beers like the entire day. And my mate took us to like his neck of the woods, so it's like a proper like man's bar. And when I went in and I said, "Oh, have you got any non-alcoholics?" and they were like, "What, like Coke?" And I was like, they were like, I was like, "Alcohol?" They were like, no, I've like not got any. I was like, "Oh, well, that's it. I'll have a beer then." So then that started me, and then I think I went to bed at like 4 a.m. I woke up at like 3 p.m. yesterday, and I went to bed at like 9 o'clock. So I was absolutely shattered, but it was a good day overall.
Yeah.
So other than that,
Absolutely
then
no atmosphere in that stadium from your fans. Like 6,000 of years going there, first derby day in years, and he was silent for the first 70 minutes.
yeah, that's a lot of shite. You could literally hear. Well, watch it back on the TV. Put the volume up. You probably
think you
because
did,
you had the
didn't
Geordies in the ear. That's what it was. You could hear them singing, man.
Nah, you couldn't.
The only time I heard you is that you only sing when you're winning. After I went 1-0 up, that's literally the only time I heard you.
Yeah, it's I think it's a crazy one, because if you think what for this area a derby day is, it's just massive, isn't it? And for me as a Newcastle fan, I would genuinely love nothing more than Sunderland to be in the league, in the Premier League, not in the Championship, mainly due to the fact that it's a guaranteed 6 points every season, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's guaranteed 6 points.
It might be now. It might be now.
I think
With
there's
the
It's just
guaranteed
a more
for us a few
experience
years
of a
ago.
derby day, innit?
That's what I
Like
mean. Like, even though we got beat 3-0, like, I loved it. I was in the bar with
Clip that.
with my brother, who's a Sunderland fan, Lewis's brother and his cousin, and like they're both Geordies. So it was like, even though like we're rivals, like it was just a class day, you know, just throwing some darts and that, like Luke Littler, but a lot worse. And then, but it was just class. Like, I loved it. Even though we lost 3-0, like.
Yeah, I think we need to comment on Luke Littler as well. For so many of us, so I, over this Christmas period, absolutely fell in love with darts, mainly because that's what we need to share. There's that one clip that I need to share. I'm hopeful that Job is still listening and knows how to share it.
Which one?
So we had been playing darts for, I don't know, roughly about an hour and a half, something like that.
I think so.
We were terrible, to be honest. I was stuck on number 8 or something for literally about 20 minutes.
Playing around the clock, weren't we?
Playing around the clock. And we're giving it the big one. Do you know what I mean? Well, mainly me, giving it the big one. And it gets to me being left on the bullseye, and I'm like, whatever. Like, you can say you're going to win. And then I go and do it. Oh, this is it. This is the moment. So I'll give a commentary. It's been an hour of us playing darts. There's me giving it the big one. James's dad says no one's won, and I say I'm about to. Bullseye to win.
I haven't seen that one.
Genuinely, right?
Look at Jesus' face.
Look,
I thought he was going to leave me hanging there as well.
I didn't want to shake his hand. Like, I was trying to play it cool. Like, I was being a bit of a prick. I'm not gonna lie. I was just like stood there, like playing it cool. But that is genuinely the greatest achievement I have ever had playing darts.
Should we not tell everyone that we filmed that about 20 times though?
Oh yeah, we literally
before you got it.
That moment of, I didn't quite give it the big one as much as that, but I did give it the big one a little bit. And having that. Yeah, I felt such a dick. As soon as the camera went off, I actually properly celebrated instead of just trying to give it like the Cantona of like, yeah, I'm cool. But it was such good fun. And then straight after that, there's the whole the nuke, and we're watching it, and it's just incredible that someone who's 16 years old could not just have that much talent, but make history like he did. It was just incredible.
Yeah, that's it. Like, obviously, I moved into this house. I've got like a shed in the garden. It's got like a bar in it. The guy who lived here before left darts and a dartboard. So I'd never been into darts at all. Like, even in work, we had a dartboard and I never played. And then I got through a few the dartboard. I was like, yeah, it's not too bad. I probably could do this quite often, you know, like just for like 10 minutes or whatever a night. And then Luke Littler started playing, and then I was like, I'd never been into darts before. Like, how could you even join or enjoy watching like a couple of blokes throw a few sticks at a board? Like, how could you enjoy it? But since I started watching it, I was like, holy shit, like, I'm in love with darts. Like, darts is so good. I need to go. We need to go to like Newcastle sometime.
Do you know what it is? I looked because I was listening to Talk Sport and it said, you know, PDC tickets or something. So I went on and I looked at Newcastle and it's fully booked out. But we definitely should, like, because it's be drinking again. Like, but it's definitely a
what a
good night
shame.
out. Yeah. But funnily enough, because I hadn't seen that video of the 50, but I was going to ask you if you had seen the video of like the family must play darts at Christmas,
Yeah.
and the little old nana, she hit
Yeah.
a number, and they were like, "Oh, you need to hit the bullseye," and she throws it, and it hits the bullseye as well,
Yeah.
and the whole family just going mental. The limbs are going everywhere. And, oh, it
Yeah.
looked fucking class, like so good.
Yeah, that did look class.
Do you know what the thing is though? Me and you, Dean, especially, we play random shit all the time. It's probably even just filming some of that stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now James is back down this way. I think there's probably more stuff we can do. I definitely want us to go and do an eating challenge. I think that would be good fun. Oh, this is the nana. And what they say, you've got to hit the bullseye.
36.
Bullseye.
Bullseye to
Bullseye,
win.
you know where the bullseye is.
Oh my god, that is so good. I think mine was better, but that was so good.
No.
No, hers is better. Hers is definitely better.
Absolutely.
That's class, isn't it?
Unreal.
Yeah, that was incredible.
We-
So, audience, we do have Imogen joining in a second. She's just setting up, and she will be on. And we will talk to Imogen all around social media influence and the impact that it has on you, I suppose, once you start becoming... I don't think she would like me to say she's famous because she's on her journey of getting there. But I imagine the pressure of having millions of views on some of your content. I imagine not all the comments are really nice and friendly. I don't know if any of you guys have had any experience of anything that's ever went viral other than my darts that had like 20 people like it. But yeah. Good evening, Imogen.
Hello.
Hello, you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you all?
Yeah.
Yes, we're doing really well, thank you.
Good. Sorry, I'm so not prepared, honestly.
No, this is absolutely my fault. So I sent Imogen an email, was it last week probably, and it got stuck in her junk. So then the whole like invitation and stuff has just landed. So we are good.
It's all right, we're here now. I'm here now. So
There we go.
It's all good.
That's it. We're all good to go. So Imogen, I'm going to give you a little bit of an intro.
perfect.
We are live, by the way, so people are already watching. So I'm going to give a little bit of an intro to who you are. Correct me if I am not quite on point, right? So you're an aspiring actress, and you're going to hate me saying this, but are now a rising TikTok star.
Yes.
That's probably never nice to hear, right? Because
I mean, you know what? We got to make it somehow, haven't we?
yeah. So what made you get into that?
To be honest, I think
Mhm.
I've been acting for as long as I can remember, but
Mhm.
I'd always seen on TikTok, especially during COVID, actually, so
Yeah.
many people would post like lip syncs and stuff, and I think it was because of was it Dub Smash? I think it used to be called. It was like an app where it was kind of like TikTok, where you'd get an audio and then you'd lip sync it, and I used to do that. And when I was younger, and then would see it all over TikTok, and I was like, oh, maybe I could give it a go. And I started it back in 2020 when everyone had nothing really to do, and I was in my second year of uni or drama school, and I was like, you know what? Why don't we just do it for fun? And obviously, nothing really ever came of it. It was just my friends that would comment and find it funny and stuff. And then, obviously, it was start of November last year now that I posted one, and then got like 3.2 million views, and then now I've got like 50,000 followers, and it's mental.
Yeah, it's incredible. And to be honest, I'm a fairly new-ish follower. I think that I messaged you around the time. Maybe I'd followed you like a week before or whatever. And I was like, it was the Tom Hardy ones where I just thought absolutely incredible because you look so innocent and nice and whatever. But what you're lip syncing is maybe not as nice as what
I know.
How you may look.
Yeah, I know.
Which is what part of the funny part is. So we are obviously going to embarrass you here. Christian, who's our producer, who I don't think you can actually see because we can see it. He's offline. Please share a clip because it is very funny.
Oh, yeah, did he? That's good of him. Right, listen. When you see him next, you tell him from me, yeah, that I say, fuck Charlie, right? Fuck his brother, yeah? Fuck that fat Georgie Cornell that hangs out with him. Fuck your face, yeah? Yeah? And fuck not you. Well, what you think of that? Hey?
Oh my god, I just think they're so good.
That. So good, isn't it?
Do you know what I actually get impressed by is the longer ones? Do you know the ones that are like clearly 40 to 60 seconds or whatever?
Yeah.
And there's maybe
Remembering
multiple. Yeah, there's multiple conversations going on in the content. And I'm thinking, how do you even remember it? Your timing's like perfect. Obviously, you're an actress, but the everymen like us who clearly aren't talented like this.
I think we should ask the real question: is how long do they actually take to make before you get it perfect?
How many attempts?
You know what? It kind of varies on the TikTok. I think if it's over a minute long and there's quite a lot of dialogue, it probably takes about an hour. So what I do is I write it down as I'm hearing it, and then that's kind of how it goes in. But I guess luckily I've been lucky with quickly picking things up, like dances and scripts and things like that. So it's not been that hard, but I mean, obviously some are really difficult to learn. But yeah, you just get the hang of it really. But they do take quite a lot of takes. So yeah.
Have you seen just on the just slightly different note, we were just talking about the darts before you come on, and there's the nine darter with Michael Van Gerwen and Michael Smith last year, and there's two brothers do the lip sync of the audio, and it's so funny.
Oh really? I've not seen that.
Yeah, we'll have to get that one up sometime. It's so funny.
Do.
Yeah, Joe, but there is there's a task for you there to try and find that for us, please, mate. Yeah, so we can talk about all those sorts of things, and I'm sure we will get back to them, which is great. But the topic that we would love to talk to you about is you are starting to become semi-famous. You're getting lots of views on your content, and I can see you hating me saying
it's so weird for me.
Yeah, it is. No, it's funny though. It is funny, right? Is probably some of the challenges around being young and starting your career and you're getting elements of fame, but then probably some of the pressures that come with that on yourself. And I've seen some of your videos where you've started to maybe open up on some of this. So this is the purpose of the pod. There'll be lots of things we cover, but that's just to give the audience an idea of what we are going to be covering in various forms throughout this episode. So the first thing we're going to get into is you have a choice. You can either choose 2 serious questions and 1 not so serious, or 2 not so serious and 1 serious question, and we will learn all about Imogen.
Let's go for the first one. Go for 2 serious.
2 serious. Okay. James, you had one before and I wrote it down. So I'm going to let you ask the question because I thought it was a really important one, probably for what Imogen does.
Yeah. So as an aspiring actress, I'm guessing you do like a lot of auditions for roles, roles that you can see yourself in and you think might be perfect for you and your acting style. How do you deal with the rejection of those sort of roles if you weren't to get it?
Yeah.
To be honest, I think you kind of get to a point where you've had so many auditions that you kind of need to detach yourself from it. And obviously it's easier said than done. Like there can be auditions where I'm just I kind of have in my head, I'm like, oh, but I think that went really well and that would be perfect for me. So obviously when you don't hear anything, because that's the thing, you don't get a no, you just don't hear back. It is hard. It really is hard, but you just kind of have to think of it as, okay, well, on to the next one. It's literally like water off a duck's back. You just have to kind of take it and go with the next audition and just kind of think forward. And we always got this advice when we were at uni to, once we come out of an audition, Don't think about how it went. Just come out of it and just forget about it.
Yeah.
And that way you kind of get yourself used to thinking forward rather than thinking, oh, what could I have done better? Because it's so easy, like even in just exams when you're a kid, just thinking, oh, but I think I got that answer wrong and things like that. It's so easy to go into that mindset. So you just kind of have to train yourself to get into that mindset. Otherwise, the career isn't really made for you if you kind of take rejection really badly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do have to be strong for sure.
Yeah.
I can imagine at the start of everyone's acting career, unless you're a Disney star, like a lot of the Hollywood sort of famous people start out, or even musicians, I suppose. I imagine the start is all about rejection. It's then, if you get rejected for a part, do they give you like clear feedback? Are they telling you what you could have done better, or is it, sorry, you're just not for us and on to the next?
It's different with everyone, really, because sometimes with smaller auditions, like with smaller companies, sometimes they can give you feedback and just be like, you're really good at this, but maybe not for this specific role, but we'll keep you in mind for other ones. Some others, obviously, you just never hear back. And our drama school kind of got us used to that, just being like prepared to not hear anything. And yeah, it is tough because when you're at drama school, you do get the reassurance from your tutors and stuff. Whereas as soon as you hit the real world, it is literally like a slap in the face. You just get nothing. You don't get told, well done, or you're talented, or you're doing well. It's just literally do the audition, send it off, and that's it. And yeah, it's so tough. It is really tough. For sure.
Yeah, no, I can imagine that.
Answer the questions.
Yeah, no, very, very good question. Very good answer to the question. I'm going to go to a more fun one here. In terms of, so you're an actress. What's your dream role? If you could pick one role from a film, what would you have chose?
Oh,
and unless you say like Rose from Titanic or something, which would be epic with Leo, but that's who I would choose if I could be.
Really?
Oh, Rose,
yeah, I could just look. I'd be Rose, just stood there.
Yeah, of course.
I'd be Leo.
Yeah, and to anyone who knows of mine and Dean's relationship, he would be. He's my best friend, and he would hold me tight on the end of the boat.
I'll never let go, Lou.
Kill him off in the end.
Yeah, he actually wouldn't let go. I wouldn't let go. That's Rose. I'm Rose in that situation.
Oh shit!
I don't know. I think it changes all the time. Sometimes I'm like, I want to be in an ITV drama series, something like that. I think at the moment, I would love to be in a Guy Ritchie film, like playing the cool, boss's wife. I just think it's just such a cool role, such a badass, boss woman, and I just think
like the gentleman.
Yeah, literally. Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's fantastic. I can't remember her name now, but yeah,
She's amazing enough. Yeah.
Plays it so well. She's just got so much like attitude, and I feel like, especially with my casting type, I get typecasted a lot for roles, obviously, because everything is just based on what you look like. So I get typecasted for dumb blonde, like the bitchy girl in high school, things like that, or like the bit simple one, not really much about her. And that's why I feel like, especially in my TikTok videos, that's why I want to kind of prove my versatility, I guess. And that's why I want something like that, because it's just so not what I look like. And I want
but also your personality as well. I think that's probably the one thing. Sorry to typecast you as not a director who has any ability to typecast you. When you were then doing those types of sketches, I was like, that's actually really funny, because you're not expecting that at all. So no, I'm definitely on that page. Dean, I think I would like to see you try and do one of them. Actually, I think you've got that in your locker.
I don't have that in my locker. Like, I can't remember that, because I was thinking at the time when I was watching that one with you. Do you have it like written in front of you and you're reading off the top of it? Because I've seen some of them, like, and there's just absolutely no way that, I just don't have that capability. No, definitely not. I couldn't remember James's question before when you said, James, you asked a good question. I couldn't even remember what it was until you said it, and then I remembered what what it was as you were saying it. I was like, oh yeah, it was. But nah, I'm not good at that sort of thing. Like maybe that's what maybe we can give it a go and upload it onto the socials. We'll try one out this week.
Yeah, do.
Yeah, we'll let Dean try that out. That seems like a great idea.
The good thing with TikTok is you can do as many takes as you want. So
yeah, that's true.
I'll do it
Watch
first
Dean
time.
become an actor after all of this. Like in a year's time, we meet and Dean's in like Coronation Street or something.
What would I get typecast else to?
Oh, cheers! Not like I've been training for years.
It's all from your advice, though. That was all.
Oh,
You just had to write it down and practice for an hour.
I'll put in
it.
a good word for you when I'm there.
Thanks.
Dean's the next bad bitch in the next Guy Ritchie film.
Yeah. God. So Imogen, our producer put a question in before. What is your favorite TikTok trend? Are you a TikTok user in your own life, or is it just a means to get your content out? Like, are you a big user of it?
I used to be. I used to get in. Oh my god! I used to get in holes. Like I'd watch it for about 2 hours and then not realize the time had passed. But I don't really. I don't know. I don't really get on trends. Like I don't, because they're all quite like singy ones or like dance TikToks, and I can't. I don't think I could pull that off as well as I do my acting. So I don't know what trends. There's like this one dance one that I really liked, and it was by Jungle back on 74. I think there was like a dance that everyone did from the music video, and I like that. That was going viral, I guess. So, but I couldn't do it.
Job, we could actually embarrass Imogen quite well here. So Imogen's just started a series trying to learn the trumpet.
Oh no!
And do you know what? Yeah, Job, look through TikTok because it is actually funny. So I think I've only watched the first 2 or 3. I don't know what you're up to now. Maybe 6.
I'm on day 6 now.
Day 6 now. The day 1 was actually really funny because you were really shit. Like genuinely, you were really shit, and it was really obvious that you were laughing at yourself. Like, maybe I shouldn't have started. Like maybe I shouldn't have started this, and now I'm filming it, and I'm gonna have to stick with it.
And this is the thing. I because I'm doing it. I'm glad I'm doing it because I'm holding myself accountable. Because otherwise, if I didn't video it, I probably wouldn't be practicing as often as I am. But oh my goodness, the first one was so bad.
Yeah, it was terrible, and I'm hoping Job. I don't know if he hasn't replied in the chat. Yeah, here we go. This is a funny one.
Jam. 2 days into 2024, as some of you know, I got a saxophone for my 20th.
Oh, I'm saying trumpet. It's a saxophone.
It's absolute beauty. Do I know how to play it? No. No, I don't. Am I going to learn? Yes. How are you going to learn, Imogen?
There's no chance it's happening in 14 days, realistically.
I will probably get some lessons. You'd think. You teach myself. So I thought that I would document my journey on how to learn saxophone.
Honestly, you're all welcome.
Actually,
It is a brilliant video.
Starting to learn the saxophone. Have here with me.
It's the sound that comes out.
Jupiter.
Yeah, it was very. It's not what I thought a saxophone sounded like.
No, well, it's not what it's supposed to sound like.
All of these bloody keys.
I just sound like a boat horn.
We're gonna do this. It's very different from my usual videos, but I kind of wanted
to. You know what? I was actually really shocked at how hard the music was to read.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like that book doesn't look like an efficient way to learn how to play the saxophone.
No, it's so confusing.
I was thinking, can you read music?
I can read music.
Yeah.
To an extent.
And I can't, hence saying that it looked really hard way to learn how to.
It's telling me how to do this, but I don't even know what the bell is. That the bell?
Yeah.
I learned that is the bell.
That is, yeah. It's all about learning, isn't it?
Place your right thumb underneath.
Honestly,
I like that.
And there's so many keys on there. Oh, so many keys.
Ah, oh, Job.
Got a little scab there, actually.
Oh, where you twatted it off your head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good sound. You?
That sounds alright, eh?
Oh,
Okay, so we've got a diagram here.
That's just not a way for me to ever learn to do something.
Name keys.
No, it is difficult.
YouTube all the way, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like I should
Yeah.
get on YouTube.
What?
YouTube or face-to-face lessons, isn't it?
Bell.
Yeah.
This is a good sound. Okay.
It's actually knackering as well.
Yeah, it's funny when you get a headache.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The lower,
Lightheaded.
the lower, like the note, the more
I don't know how to
breath you need.
but not being funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So our producer is actually a genius when it comes to music as well. He plays
really?
however many instruments, yeah. And he's saying that you're actually not bad at all.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
So he's being nice. I don't know why, because he's never normally.
I know. Hold it.
thanks. You're being way too kind because I think I sound shite.
Are you,
I love
would you say
the
you're-
Good evening, guys.
Go on.
Right.
Actually,
No, go on.
I was just saying I love the sax in Sam Fender.
Oh,
They have
yeah.
a sax
incredible.
sax guy that plays in there. It's class.
I mean, that
Well,
is
it
the
just makes me think Ibiza, doesn't it? Like Ibiza
Yeah, yeah,
when
that
you're
girl,
around-
that there's that girl as well, isn't she? The blonde girl, the famous one.
Yeah.
Have you seen her playing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, some good
she's
songs.
class,
Like.
like.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'll get
Yeah.
there.
So in terms of learning a new skill, so you kind of touched on it before around like it's really important for you to like push yourself, try new things, those sorts of stuff. Is that something that you tend to do often?
You know what? No. I think if you'd have spoken to me back in October last year,
Yeah.
I'd have been like, I just had no motivation to anything. I had my job, which I didn't enjoy because it's in hospitality. Sorry.
Yeah.
And
We understand why you might hate it. You have to deal with drunk people and rude people and
yeah, and it's like I just didn't really. I was trying to find hobbies, and to be honest, I had wanted to learn the saxophone for a few years, but I never really thought I was going to get one. And then I then did panto over Christmas, and I was like, right, I need to learn the sax. I need to start the saxophone next year so that I've got something to put my mind to, so that when I'm not doing my show, because I've finished now, that it kind of, I have something else to enjoy rather than just going, right, stopped doing what I love and now I have to just go back to work.
yeah.
My muggle job is what we call it.
Yeah, when you're not creating magic, right? So what were you in the panto? I feel like that being in a panto, how cool a panto is, by the way.
I've actually never done one.
Were you a tree? You were a tree.
Was I a tree? Yeah. No, I was ensemble, which is like a backing dancer and singer and understudy Cinderella. So I had to learn her part as well as my own part.
Did you get to be Cinderella?
I didn't. No.
So you didn't push her down the stairs.
Yeah.
You didn't lock her in the changing room.
Break a leg.
Break a leg.
I actually know her, so it kind of made it a little bit more difficult.
You could have just wore like a mask or something, and no one would ever know.
True. I could have done that, but no. I actually kind of enjoyed my part because I felt like I was in more like dances and stuff, whereas she was only in the scenes. So I enjoyed it.
And do you see yourself doing panto every year now? Is that now a thing? Until you.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, so I hope so. I really enjoyed it. But obviously, you never know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'll be doing something else over Christmas. I mean, hopefully, not in a bad way, because I did enjoy panto, but hopefully I'll be doing TV, maybe.
Yeah, TV. What even are Christmas programs over?
Oh,
that
like
time?
Midwife?
Oh, that's. Hang on. I
So
think
random.
you definitely knew. She definitely was like, yeah. I think that thing that I watch every year that I love and I've always dreamt of being a part of. I think that might be on over Christmas. That's literally what that was, wasn't it?
It was. See, when I'm myself, I can't actually hide my emotion or like act very well. It's quite funny.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. So it was good. So yeah, the video that made me want to reach out to you and understand your story and what was where you started to talk about. So we're probably going to go down a slightly different tone here, but you can make it as fun as you want to make it. So was where you opened up that you'd been struggling for a bit and there had been some challenges and you felt like it was right, or it was the right thing to open up.
Yeah.
Firstly, how did you find opening up? Did that help you? But then what was going on and how do you feel now?
I think I had a lot of things happen, like personally, over in 2023 that kind of just like I changed jobs like about 3 times, I think. And I hadn't been in my job that I'm currently in very long. And I think it was just like I wasn't getting paid as much as I was in my previous job. And I think it was just sometimes you just get waves of, am I ever going to make it kind of thing. And you see so many people in the same situation as you, which you may think, oh, that's nice to know that I'm not alone. But at the same time, you think, what makes me different? What makes me think that I can make it over that person? Yeah. And you just think, my odds are so tiny. And I think I just got to a point where I wasn't enjoying my job and I hadn't found anything else that made me happy. And I think what a lot of people say, especially in the creative industry, is that you have to have 2 lives, basically. You have to find a side hustle or like a hobby or something else that you, or like a job in the creative industry that you enjoy, that completely takes the focus away from the rejection or you just not doing as well as you want to, or just that. I just felt like I wasn't at that point in my life where other people were, and especially when you're like mid-20s, you look at everyone else and you're thinking, well, some of you have got getting married, some of you have got babies, some of you got houses and full-time jobs, while I'm here making coffees for a fair wage, and and I wasn't doing what I loved, and I just felt like my progress was completely different. And so many people say, oh well, you can't compare yourself to others, but it's so much easier said than done. And I had nothing else on the side that I enjoyed, so I just felt like my life was work, and because I didn't enjoy work, then I was just unhappy. So, and I don't think that if TikTok hadn't have kicked off the way it did for me, I feel like I'd still be in a very similar position. Obviously, I did have Panto, which was great, but it's so hard to find another side hustle or hobby that is kind of similar to what you want to do, but also distracts you from doing what you want to do. So it's really, really hard because some people go into teaching, like dance teaching and stuff like that, and that was never for me. I'd done it before and I didn't really fancy it. And then I was trying to think of other things. I was like, oh, should I just go to London and do this? And I was like, should I travel? And just so many things go on in your head and you're like, what do I do? So it was hard.
I think we can, as the three here on the pod here, can definitely all resonate with that. And it's all about finding your why, probably in life, and your purpose. And without purpose, what have we got really? You get stuck in the rat race of this is what life is. This is pretty shit. Like Dean, I know you were in that position sort of back end of last year. James, you've just gone through a big career change from the RAF to Civvy Street. Like I've had multiple career changes in my life where you think like this is your purpose. So for example, mine was football, where yours was acting, and then mine then went to working in training, to then now working in marketing. And I feel like you're absolutely right, because this is as much for the audience to understand the lesson from this. Even though you might not be in a position where your 9 to 5 gives you every bit of fulfillment that you actually truly want in your life, you can still either have hobbies or a side hustle, or you can still invest in the things that give you that sense of purpose in your own time, and then try and turn that into what your life is. And for us, maybe that for us is this podcast. It's that chance to express ourselves, our true emotions, help people in a way where there's not that pressure of, as you say, earning that fair wage, because actually it's just doing something that we're passionate about versus doing something that we need to do. I suppose my question around that for you would be, since doing the TikTok, have you felt like you've been a better actress since, because you're maybe not putting that pressure on auditions as much, because actually you're getting a little bit of a release?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Especially as I'm acting more than when I would just do auditions, and it's so good to kind of keep it current, because then you learn more, or you just keep it going. And
Yeah.
I think it also helps when I'm acting for my TikToks. It helps me keep the motivation to know what I'm kind of working towards. Whereas I think when you have so much time away from doing stuff, or you haven't done a job for ages, you forget what it feels like to be in that position, and then you think, hang on, what am I working for? Like, what does it feel like to act? What does it feel like to do this? So I think, yeah, definitely since doing TikToks, it's helped keep my love for acting, as well as just keep it going, really. And it's definitely, I feel, improved my acting for sure.
Yeah.
Would you say like consistency was like a really big thing with your TikToks, for example? Because as you say, you started off like just having a laugh, and it was only your friends and stuff. But I bet it got to a stage where you wanted it to go further. So did you ever go through times where, I don't know, it wasn't taking off as much as you wanted to, or you felt forced to have to do it to keep like your fans happy? Or
Yeah, to be honest, yeah, I think I kind of got to a point where I was thinking, well, I've got an agent and they get me auditions and stuff, and obviously I have to look for myself as well. But it got to a point where I kind of, sorry, I've lost my train of thought. Got to a point where I just didn't know kind of what I wanted to do, and I kind of started posting my TikToks again. I started the ball rolling, because I was thinking, well, if I'm not getting auditions, how else am I going to get seen? And especially kind of with my casting type, there aren't many auditions out there for, heterosexual, white, blonde, female, because it's amazing how diverse the industry has now become. But obviously then, because of the diversity and stuff like that, then there are just
Limited
so
opportunity.
many. Yeah. And there are a lot of other girls that look like me, and I kind of thought, well, okay, well, you get to a point where I feel like everyone has this. You make your own work, and although I didn't know it was going to take off, I was just kind of thinking, what else have I got to lose, really? So I just kind of carried on posting, not really expecting it, and I kind of had in the back of my head, oh, how funny if this went viral. And I remember actually posting the TikTok that went viral. And I said the night before, when I posted it, I went, this is going to go viral. And I just said it as a joke. And then I woke up the next morning and I was like, oh, I've actually gone viral now. So it was mental.
Yeah.
Which one was it?
It was the Tom Hardy one. The golf.
Oh, was it the Tom Hardy one?
Yeah.
Class.
So I have not ever hit your virality. I've had so on LinkedIn I have a fairly decent following, a bit short of yours, and I've had like 1 million, not multiple millions, but 1 million. And I remember post having those posts that have gone viral, that feeling when the next one doesn't, of like, oh, I'm a little bit disappointed here. So how do you manage that? Because you almost get to that point where you feel, well, have I failed on that one? Am I now suddenly shit? Like, or was that just a fluke? So how do you deal with that?
Well, this is kind of where imposter syndrome comes in, because
Yeah.
I am definitely the queen of that. And I think that's why I take so many takes in my TikToks as well, because I just get to a point where I may post something and I know it's not as good as another one of mine, and I just go, oh, I just know it's not going to go as well. But the followers that I have such lovely comments from them, and they're always so supportive. Obviously, it's part of the parcel, really. When you're on social media, you are going to get hate. So I do get the odd comments here and there, but doesn't everyone? Saying, oh, this is not as good as your other ones. And I'm like, yeah, cheers, Ian, I know that. But
Bloody Ian. It's always Ian, isn't it?
But yeah, no offense to any Ians, that was obviously just an example. But yeah, it is hard, but you kind of just. I also kind of have in my head, I am also doing it for my enjoyment, not just for other people. So I think it's also important to keep that mindset, because then otherwise, I do obviously want to think of it as a job, because if that became my full-time job, that'd be amazing. But I also want to keep it as like enjoyment through me, for me. So
that's the main thing, though, isn't it? Like everyone says about work, like do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. So as long as you're enjoying doing it, then
yeah, sure,
why would you not?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's very true. In terms of, so you've gone from not really posting to then posting pretty much every day now.
Yeah.
Is that right? How are you finding that as like a work-life balance?
Well, it is quite tough actually, because I have to find time. I have to work. Yeah, I have to find the content. I have to learn the content. I also have to have my own like downtime, family time, friends, and things like that. So it's hard to factor in different like things to then know how I'm gonna do it, because I've made an agreement with my work that I work in the mornings so that I have the rest of the day to kind of do my TikToks and things like that, because at the end of the day, like I am starting to get paid for them, so it is also a job. So I do need to kind of work on my time management, because if I'm, you've got to keep it up. If I'm posting 2-3 times a day, I've got to do that every day. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good point. Yeah, no, it does. So you did touch on the negative comments, and I don't want to go into them too much because they're negative, right? But how do you deal with them? Like, how does that actually make you feel? And so again, I've had some negative comments, and we get them, especially if we go on. We've talked about so many different types of topics, from like addiction to suicide to. So when you go into those depths, sometimes people maybe don't take the conversation as well as it was meant to be said, and it's hard. And I know how we deal with it, but how do you deal with it?
I think it was weird. I think at first, because I got quite a few I got a lot on the golf one. The one that went viral, just of being like, "This is a red flag. I wouldn't want to be your husband." And I'm like, it's just a joke.
Don't worry. Yeah, don't worry. You're not going to be.
So what a shame. I wanted to marry you. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of those I kind of found funny, but some of them, I think it was the ones when people would comment being like, almost, but like, good effort. I think those ones, I was like, oh, I got deep. And I try not to let it affect me, but there's only so much. Like, I've gone from getting no hate, because I've never been big on social media. I've gone from getting nothing to getting quite a bit. So obviously every so often it's going to affect you. And I think maybe on my videos that haven't done as well, if I get a hate comment, I get offended by it a bit more, because like with the amount of views that my other ones have and stuff, I'm like, oh, well, it's like, you're going to get it. There's loads of comments. I don't have time to look through that. Whereas the smaller ones, I'm like, I can see them. I look through the comments and
I was going to ask that actually. Do you look through all the comments all of the time, or do you, if it's a big one, do you go, I'm going to get loads, I haven't got the time to read 1,000
the big
comments?
Ones I kind of just scroll past, but the smaller ones I do look, because I do get lovely comments, so it's nice to see. Obviously, the odd one I do see, and I do want to reply to them, but obviously, I can't.
Do you ever?
Can't stoop that low.
No. That's what they want, isn't it? They want to rise, and then before you know it, you get more piling in just to get that rise again. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and there's a guy I follow called James Smith, who's like a diet person, and he wrote some books, and he was talking on the Chris Williamson podcast the other day about like when he wrote his books, he goes and has a look at like the 1-star reviews, and he said it was the worst thing he did because like people are like kicking off about his book and stuff like that. But like to give himself a bit of perspective, he goes to like, you know, really famous books that have done actually, you know, like famously well, and looked at their 1-star reviews. And even those people who have got these books that are at the absolute top echelon, put my teeth back in. Aye. That
that was his
that
Buck
are at the
Cotton
top.
audition there, by the way.
Oh, she's rip.
Is she gone on the show? I don't know.
No, it's gone. You like it?
Oh, she? Oh.
2023. But yeah, even in them books that have done so well, there's negative reviews and stuff like that. So just to give a bit of perspective, you're always going to get them. And I think in this life that we have, where it's all online, people want to just say negative things, don't they? They just want to be on a wind up. It's like a troll culture that we've got, isn't it?
Yeah, they just honestly have nothing else better to do with their lives, do they? Really?
Yeah, exactly.
You see it everywhere. I feel like some of them they don't even mean it. Sorry.
Sorry, I was saying hurt people. Hurt people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's deep.
You see some people and they do like the most stupid thing, and then the people are getting by. Like I've seen a post. It was like, "Oh, you people will argue over anything," and it was literally like a glass that was like half full, and they were like, "This glass is half full," and then the comments are like, "It's half empty," and everyone's just kicking off. And I was like,
honestly,
"How do you care so much?" I'm pretty sure people just do it. People just do it just to get other people to vote. I'm sure.
Yeah, I think the one I always see is when someone, it's normally a Twitter thing, but someone will kick off a tweet, and then so someone will put something, and they'll say, "No, you're wrong." Da, da, da. Then the person replies, and they're like, "Oh no, I'm really sorry. Lovely to see you," or whatever. And you're like, "What?" So you've clearly only said it for the attention of the reply, not because you actually believe what you're saying. Which
you get that a lot, don't you?
Weird way to run your life.
Yeah.
I seen one with a UFC fighter, and somebody commented saying, "You should just retire, mate. You're past it." And then he commented back saying, "Would you say that about face?" And he went, "No, mate. That's why I said it on Twitter."
It's so true.
And anyway, the UFC fighter replied saying, "Fair enough." Oh, it's such a creep.
Yeah, God. No, I love that. Okay, so we've had some questions from some parents ahead of this interview. So you are now going to be the moral guidance of all social media. So
no pressure.
Take that weight on your shoulders, right? Carry it.
Yeah.
So in terms of TikTok, every kid's now using TikTok, right? Well, I'm saying that as a 31-year-old, so I'm far too old to be talking about what the cool kids are doing, right? How can parents keep their kids safe on social media? Is that one that you feel confident about?
I mean, I wouldn't. I don't think I'd be very good at giving this advice, but I think there are things that you can do on TikTok to censor things. You know, there are things that it's like you can't see if it's got swearing and things like that. But I ideally don't. I believe that there shouldn't be kids on TikTok until they're 16, because you never know what's out there. And obviously a lot of stuff gets shadow banned and reported and whatever. And if I see something that's offensive, I'll report it. And just because I know that at 25, like, I don't want to see that. So I wouldn't want a 10-year-old on TikTok seeing that. And I just think that it's nowadays, like, the age is just so young that kids are on social media. And I remember I was like 12, and that when I joined Facebook, and I was buzzing about that. And everyone else was like 10, and I was like, I couldn't have it for another 2 years.
I wasn't allowed it. You know what
I mean? And obviously, you don't really see half of the stuff that you see on TikTok. So I would say, my advice to parents is probably don't. It's hard if your kids have their own phones. It is hard, but they shouldn't be allowed their own TikTok until they're about 16, because some of the things on there, like, you never know what you can see, and there's lots of swearing, and especially with like some things that have come up on the news with kids being so easily influenced by other people and what they're going through, especially with mental health. I think there was a girl who committed suicide because she said that she was having mental health problems, and it was because someone on social media said they had that and was saying that they were, doing certain things, and it led her to do those things. And it's just
It's sad.
TikTok is a blessing and a curse. It's so good for learning, but it's also, it can influence you very easily. So yeah, I would say 16 at least.
No, I think that's fair. And there was probably a point you mentioned that triggered something in my head there, and I think it was, I could be misquoting, but I believe it might have been Elon Musk who said it, where everyone who joins social media should have to submit some form of ID. So your passport, your driving license, whatever.
100%.
And I think that would just change so many of the like bad things on social media, because then you have no ghost accounts where they're just giving loads of people abuse or whatever. You have none of the really dangerous stuff on social media, because you would just get caught. You would get caught. So I definitely think that's something that the big social media companies should look to do. Dean, you probably have a view on this, knowing you.
Well, I was just thinking, like, just back to that bit, like, I mean, I agree in some cases, especially like for the bad stuff, but like negative comments and stuff like that, like, obviously, it's not nice in that, but there's the free speech element as well, isn't it, of letting people say what they want to say. Some people believe what they say in them negative comments, so it's that fine balance, and I think that's what got brought up about it, is the fine balance of being able to say what you want with freedom of persecution, but also not to the extent of some people, like the racial abuse some of the England players, and Ivan Toney puts it on all the time, like some of the abuse for that, but they're hiding behind screens anonymously where you can say what you want and get away with it. So I think it's right with the balance. But I think it's so hard because, like, when we were kids, people asked what you want to be. It'd be footballer and all that. People just want to be like TikTok, YouTube famous now. And like looking at that towards their careers of being so young. I mean, there's that Fortnite player, 13-year-old, isn't he? And he won £1 million competition. Like, it's just crazy, like the money that's in it. And I think it's probably we're a little bit behind the times, because we're thinking, we don't want the kids to be online and stuff like that. But I think eventually it's just the way the world's changing, isn't it? Like, a lot of it will be online, and a lot of it already is. But it'll be interesting to see what happens, because you think about how far we've come in since we were kids, like what it's going to be like in another 20, 30 years. Going to be, even 10 years, it's going to be crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I think you're right. It does worry me, actually, because obviously I have a son, and that is something that I'm fearful. Like, he's 18 months old, so it's one of those where you're like, what's the world going to be like when he's my age? It is terrifying. So yeah, as a dad, you think, how can I best protect my son? So yeah, that's definitely one. So there was a statistic that I was really shocked at when researching this topic of mental health, and specifically this year, Imogen, we are looking at not just talking about men's health. So we've had lots of women guests on previously, but we haven't openly said we're going to discuss men and women's health.
Yeah.
We've kind of just discussed mental health, but mainly through the lens of men's, because we're a group of lads, really. So it's really hard for us to identify as a woman, and we will definitely not get into that conversation. But to say that I am a woman and I know my mental health, because I just don't. In terms of there's a stat out there that women are twice as likely to be diagnosed with anxiety as men. Now, we know that men are more likely to commit suicide and all those sorts of things, but I didn't realize that women would be more likely to suffer with anxiety. And when I actually stepped back and sort of looked at that stat, it absolutely makes sense. I think there's so much more pressure for women or where women feel like they have to be a certain way and probably look a certain way because of the way society makes them, like, you have to look beautiful, your hair has to be done, your nails have to be done, all those types of things, when actually you should, as a bloke, we just get out of bed, have a shower, and we shove some clothes on. Like, it's very different in terms of sort of the standards that men and women have to go through. So just your thoughts on that stat, really?
Oh gosh, where do I begin? To be honest, there's actually, obviously in the most recent Barbie film, there was a really good speech in there, and it's about the societal pressures of women and how it's just completely different from men. Obviously, like, we all can get anxiety, but yeah, it spurs from different things, and a lot of it is societal pressures, and because of the traditional way of thinking from years ago about, you know, women and jobs and what they should look like. And also pornography is like a massive one for like the way that women are seen, because people that watch it have this idea in their head of how things go and like what women look like, and then women then get shunned if they don't look like that, or if they have flaws. It's like, oh, okay, well, it doesn't on this. Like, they, you know, have fake boobs and things like that. And it's also social media as well. A lot like filters and these apps that you can like change your face shape and like your teeth. And
I'm going to take slimmer. I'll take slimmer.
But it's just mental, and it's just so like, it's so weird how easily you can change yourself, and how social media makes you think that they look like that, or that their life is like that. And it's like, no, it's just so untrue. And like, for me, I had to unfollow loads of like women, like Instagrammers on Instagram, because I was just looking at them thinking, well, I don't look like that, or I'm not there in my life yet. I don't have a Range Rover. I don't live in London, and things like that. Like, it was all of those things, and I was like, why am I doing that to myself? This is what people want you to see. This is the life that they want you to see on it. And I think social media massively like gave me like anxiety a lot of the time, because I would be like, well, I've got nothing to post. I've like, why do people want to know about my life? And my life's not that interesting. I've seen people go on, you know, traveling. I've not done anything with my life, and it just like hits you and makes you think, well, I need to do all of this stuff. And that's where the stress comes, and everything kind of goes hand in hand, really. And yeah, there is a lot of it's tough being a woman. And also even with like, you know, the whole not all men thing with like going out at night, things like that. Like, a man can go and have a walk at night.
Yeah, I hate this.
I never want to walk my dogs at night.
Yeah,
God forbid. I'd be fearful of my life. And it's just like, you don't want to assume, but you kind of have to. And it's like, what, there's, you know, that thing, it's like, not all snakes bite, but, you know, you're obviously going to be scared of every single one, because they all look the same.
Ooh, just got labelled as snakes.
No.
I'm joking.
I've always thought you were a snake, me.
No, I am joking. No, I think that, do you know what, we actually talked about this. So I work in a corporate environment, and we have to do these sorts of training. And I'm going to be really frank. When that topic came up at first in my head, even doing a podcast, so I'd like to think I'm someone who's fairly considerate, and like, I genuinely want people to be happy and okay and all this. When I heard it at first, the topic of women not feeling safe walking, I was like, surely that's not right. That seems a little bit exaggerated. But then we sat in a forum for an hour, 2 hours, whatever, and hearing women share their fears and stories, and something, I don't believe anyone in the room, something had happened, but there was moments where they felt threatened and fearful and things. And I can't imagine us as a group of blokes walking down the street and being fearful that there's a woman walking 10 meters behind me or across the road, but walking in the same direction. But the majority of women have that fear of this person could be an attacker. So again, that probably all sort of writes into why women have more anxiety, because they have a genuine fear of the opposite sex, where I don't naturally have a fear towards women. Anyway,
I think I get the reverse of that sometimes, though. Like, you know, like if you're out walking and there is a woman, like, I feel like I want to cross the street away so it doesn't look like I am following, you know, like it's like, now, are you thinking that I'm, no, I'm going to just go like, so.
It's like when you
I
smile
get
at
it.
an old
I'm not
person,
following
they
you,
don't
I'm
think you're a thug.
I'm not weird. As you look
a couple of things.
completely weird.
I'm normal.
I promise. Just one thing you touched on before. We've said it a few times about the whole thing with social media as well. It's that comparison's the thief of joy. So you're looking at things, and your life might be good. Like you might have a video and you might hit 1 million views or what have you. But then you look at the next video and that's 2 million, and that can detract away from the sort of feelings that you get. So I think that's a big one, is just sort of being grateful for sort of what you've got and not looking into it. So I think I've done the same as you. I used to follow all the people with six packs and all that sort of stuff and thinking it's motivation, when in fact it wasn't motivation. It's demotivation more than anything. Yeah.
Yeah. And now he just follows me around. That's it.
Yeah, 10 yards behind.
10 yards behind. I'm not a weirdo. Yes, you are.
Slow down though.
That's it. Yeah. No, that is it. So there was another stat which jumped out around this as well, that over a quarter, so 26% of women aged between 16 to 24. So you're not even in that bracket now, Imogen. You're old.
Oh gosh,
obviously.
I'm one of the. You know when you do the new thing, you tick the next category. Oh, God.
You're the next category on this one, right? So over a quarter of women, so 26%, aged between 16 to 24, report having a common mental health problem in any given week. Now, that age demographic makes me feel a lot of that would be probably driven by that, as we discussed, social pressures and social media. And what you guys were talking around unfollowing people, I actually made a decision to come off a lot of social media. So I came off Instagram completely. I found it a really toxic place as a young man, constantly comparing yourself. And I feel like I have a pretty good life, but there's always someone with a better life. So you're looking at it going, okay, I've got a good job, I'm working really hard, but actually they're hustling. They're up at 3. How are they up at 3? And then they've got all these things. I can't get up at 3. I go to bed at 10. Like all these sorts of things. So yeah, it definitely made me go to bed at 8. Just go to bed.
Just go to bed at 8.
Just go to bed at 8. No, it's probably one of those, when I read that stat, it makes me think social media has played such a big part in all of our lives, but to young people, maybe you're not ready. Like, I think you need to understand who you are, what you want out of life, before then being so easily influenced or feeling pressured to be someone that you're not.
Yeah, because you're still learning as a kid. You're still.
I'm still learning, and I'm 31.
Yeah, like you still get influenced by other people's views and like opinions. So until you're an adult, really, I feel like that's when you can make your own decisions to do what you want to do, and
completely agree.
Change whatever.
Yeah, James, so you're quite young. How old are you, James? 24, all right?
24, yeah.
24. How do you find social media? Because you're not really that active, are you?
Nah, I don't post anything. I like Twitter because it can be really funny. It can be really funny, and I catch up with I see all the news. You know, like I feel that's one of the first places you see the news and stuff. I'm not sitting and watching the news. Like that's boring. So I'll just catch it on Twitter. You know, whatever's trending or whatever. But yeah, I think because I'm not big, like famous or anything. You know, like no one's coming at me or. Like no
I'm
one
gonna start coming at you now.
You
post, we're all gonna just come at you.
Well, I tell you what, I'm into me gardening, right? So I was growing like loads of tomato and chili plants, right?
Hell, man!
And I was posting it all over me Instagram. And I tell you what, right? A lot of people were enjoying that.
I love that. Good for you.
People call them my only plants. Only plants, yeah.
I enjoyed that.
I was loving that though. I was loving that.
When I must have missed that series.
Oh, you can catch it up. I made like a highlight on my Instagram, so go check it out, guys. At James D.
You sub to a few of them, don't you?
You are Only Plants.
No, Lewis. Oh no, it's not Only Plants. That's the other one, isn't it?
Oh, right.
I feel like that's really wrong. But no matter what I say, I'm going to bite. So do I just ignore it? It's a podcast. It's awkward. So I've got to reply.
Just gonna take it.
If you ignore it, it's true.
Exactly. If I ignore it, it's true. So I will positively deny it, saying I do
It's
not.
on the company
but,
card.
But thanks, mate. Yeah. Everyman paying for only scrans.
Yeah.
That's what Ethan was, eh? But so we have a bit of a quick fire round. They're not the best questions in the world. I'm going to set that up nicely. So we will learn all about you here. So if you could travel back in time, what time period would you want to go? I feel like you could be a 20s. I'm going to put that out there. Makes me think like you. That might be more like the Peaky Blinders type sketches
Really?
that you do. Yeah,
During the war, isn't it?
Was that 20s, 30s?
Oh, 14, 18.
I'd probably say the 60s because I just love the music and the swinging culture. So I'd say the 60s, and like the fashion was so cool.
Mm.
Yeah, like all the Motown stuff, love it. That's a bit of me.
Yeah, I'm definitely not cool enough to pick the 60s. I don't think. I would like to go back to the 90s. Cheers, mate. I'd like to go back to the 90s where I was born, and actually be able to experience that.
Yeah.
You want to remember your birth?
No, but like as an adult.
You want to watch your birth as an adult? That's even worse.
I was going to say something worse than that.
I was born at the late 90s, so I'd like to know I'd like to remember the 90s.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, well, I just think like the music then was so cool, but older music is always better. I feel like it's getting progressively worse, but
oh my gosh, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, would you rather text or talk?
Talk.
Dean, what would you rather do?
For text, I work in a call center, and I do not ring anybody else ever. Like I hate it. My wife's Japanese, and so I have to do all of like the calling and stuff like that for like the rest of our life. And honestly, I hate it. I don't know why. I feel like as I've got older, I get anxiety about it, which is mad to think that I do that, considering I work in a call center all the time. But having to ring places, I build it up, and then when I do it, it's sound. But nah, I'd rather text easily. You know what I'm like? I'm on my phone texting non-stop. I'm in so many different group chats, and I'm like that replying to them. But somebody rings us, and I've just put my phone down.
No, I understand that.
Yeah,
like
it's horrible.
Sometimes I can get so socially awkward. Like I'll have to ring the dentist, and I have no idea what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I hate?
Is the worst.
I hate bumping into people that unexpectedly.
But ones that you're not that acquainted with.
Yeah.
No, but like even when I am, like, and then I just feel so weird. Like I was out shopping, and like when we've got the Metro Centre in Newcastle, like the big indoor shopping centre, and some guy walked up to us and knew, tapped us on the shoulder and said, "Oh, you all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, you all right? What you doing here?" And he's like, "Shopping. You?" I was like, "Yeah, shopping too." Like obviously you're going to be shopping at the Metro Centre. We're in the middle of a shop as well. Like I still think about it now, cringe about it. They probably forgot about it straight away, but like it's just something that plays on my mind
every night.
I'm so glad you've reminded them.
Yeah, they'll not be listening.
What was the last song you listened to?
Love, Love, Love by Donny Hathaway.
Don't even think I know that song.
If you don't know it, get to know it.
Love, Love, Love by Donny Hathaway. Does any of you boys know that?
No.
Shame.
Now we'll play it on the outro.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather be invisible or have super strength?
Invisible.
Can you turn it off? Or like you're invisible forever?
Yeah, that's actually so fair. Can I click my fingers?
Yeah, I feel it's like, do you know the woman off Fantastic Four where she can go invisible?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, invisible for sure.
Yeah, I think I would. It depends how super the strength is. Like, how strong is the strength?
Yeah, but why do you need to lift stuff? Ah, what a great song.
Gonna get done for copyright now.
Yeah, well,
this is back to the 60s, is it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
And this is a great song.
Yeah, it's a bit soulful.
Is there a sax in this one or not?
No.
Do you want to skip it along a little bit, Job, just so I see if I recognise it?
Each time I try to find someone to take a place.
James, you got to move.
Your lips were never quite the same.
To be fair,
Bobbleheads.
I don't think I've heard that song before, and I'm a fan.
I've never heard that.
So presumably that would be on Smooth, right? That seems like a Smooth.
I love Smooth Radio.
I am sorry, but I will jump in. These are all horrible for not knowing that song. That's incredible. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
There he is.
Thank you. Thank you, mystery man, who just comes on to rip us all and drop off. Thanks, mate. Sweet or savoury?
Savoury, 100%.
Savoury.
Yeah, 100%.
Sausage
Weirdos.
rolls. That's it.
That is the most random thing I think anyone's said.
Sausage rolls.
Really, I'm so passionate about them. I'm so sorry.
Honestly, yeah. Do you like Greg's?
I love it.
Yes.
Oh,
Wow.
gosh, sorry.
That was the most. So your passions and purposes in life are acting, TikTok, and sausage rolls. That's what we've discovered.
That is my life motto.
Yeah. God, that was good.
Sorry.
I feel like we've just answered it. This question: what's one thing people won't know about you? But I think we've just discovered what it is.
I've got a bit more to me than that. I can speak Spanish.
How
Fluently.
To like a conversational degree, like
Wow.
yeah. I
I
can
have to work-
understand it more than I can speak it.
Like you can speak it. I have to. So the people. So I end up working with a company in my job, and they're all from Spain, and I always feel really bad. So I lived in Gibraltar as a child, so I at 10 years old could speak Spanish a little bit, and they say some things and I kind of understand it, but then I told them the story of me having lived there. They're like, "Oh well." They actually tried having a conversation. I was like, I'm really bad at this. I don't have a clue. So is yours not? I know beer, wine. Like I'll have the sausage roll, please. Whatever it is.
Lovely. Yeah, no, I can like have conversations and stuff. Like it's just I have to talk slowly and they have to talk slowly. But like I have to kind of say from the get-go that I'm slow and I can't talk it that well, and then they get surprised, and I'm like, wow, yeah, well, I'm good.
To be fair, I feel like if depending on the speed, I think we could all do that because we have Google Translate.
No, but like, I mean, if I'm having a conversation, I can't just go, yeah, 1 sec, and then like, or can you just?
That's how
please.
That's how I speak to my wife, just through Google Translate.
Thing is, Imogen doesn't know if you're telling the truth or not. Hang on, Job. Job has just said he can rap in Spanish. So I think
he's going to prove it.
I think we need to. You need to say, I don't know, 3 or 4 lines.
My time to shine.
Cringula.
Actually, I'm gonna set
Imogen.
some premise. Let's set some premise.
And then Imogen has to say what you've said.
If it's a song,
it's no, it's not a song.
If it's Despacito,
from
that
a
doesn't
TV.
count.
It is Despacito. How did you know? No, it's not. It's from. Has anyone seen the TV program Community?
No.
Yes.
Fantastic series.
Brilliant. It is brilliant.
There is a Spanish rap in that, which obviously is one of my favorite shows.
Got like
so
chorizo
I
and
ended up.
stuff in it.
No, I think it's about cold fries. Actually, he says something about cold fries, but it's a beast stock. You can translate for it if you want to. We'll do line
Yeah,
for
we're
line.
going to see if Imogen can translate.
I'm going with this.
Imogen then has to wrap it back in English.
You know, lay a beat.
I'll do it in Japanese back.
Yeah. And it goes, you ready? This
Get
is
Google
embarrassing.
Translate out.
This is embarrassing. It goes, ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? Riamotibon, learando
Go to the library.
discoteca, moneca, la biblioteca. And then that's all I know.
So
You're just talking about a library.
a library, then a disco.
Oh no, there's
That's it.
Buenos
Library
dias, me
disco.
gusta papa frias.
Buenos dias.
Oh my god.
So
I
I feel like
think
I
I like
like
cold
fries
fries.
as well.
I'd like
I
to
feel like
apologize
anyone
to
can
everyone for
translate
that.
It was impressive. Come on, man. At least
Yeah.
give him it.
I am really sorry to any of our Spanish listeners
you.
for Joe ruining your national anthem there. Apologies.
This is where I drop off again. Thanks, Lou. He asked us why I don't come on, right? He's like, "Oh, why do you just come on and then drop off?" I get ripped
I
to
don't know
shreds.
why I
with
don't
But yeah,
no
because you come on and rap in Spanish.
Yeah, like
About a library.
about a library. Yeah,
Someone had to
literally
carry
the
this.
worst rap I've ever heard. You rapped about a library.
Wow.
Why do you know
But-
Spanish, anyways?
Why do I know Spanish? So I my oh my gosh, I didn't get your words out. My grandparents bought a house in Spain when I was like 2, and then I've been going every year since. And then my mum like made me learn Spanish. So, and I have to talk to like the neighbors and stuff in Spanish.
Are your grandparents speak Spanish?
No,
Do you?
no, they don't.
Are your grandparents speak Spanish?
Good
I'm just
England.
role playing. Yeah, good
great
England.
England. Class. No, brilliant. Well, that kind of wraps up the episode, Imogen. So we are genuinely super grateful for you coming on. You were.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah,
It's been
no,
great.
you were brilliant, and we will. I'm sure you're probably going to gain some more followers on TikTok from James, Dean, and Joe.
Yeah, you get 3 more at least.
Yes.
Which is great.
I don't have it, but I'll log on just to follow you, and then I'll log back out.
That's a bit creepy.
Yeah, but it just takes over your life.
I'm not a weirdo. I'm not a weirdo.
I'll go on to look at one video, and before I know it, I'll be 35. It's just boom, so quick.
Yeah, it's not great for
Process.
us who believe we have ADHD, is it?
Yeah,
It's not
nah.
great. But no, it's been incredible. So what I would say is, how can people find you, follow you? Not down the street, obviously. We're just after social media, not where you live.
Yeah, you can just follow me at Imogen Eden-Brown on TikTok and Instagram. It's the same for both. So that's great.
Got it. I feel like James will follow you on Instagram, but I don't think James has TikTok. So
that's right. I'm not offended.
There's a win. Yes. Well, thank you very much for joining us on the Everyman podcast. We have, it's been amazing, and we will catch you soon.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been really, really nice to talk on here, and I love what you guys like, your ethos and everything. It's great. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
We really appreciate it.
Have a nice rest of your evening, and thank you.
Yes.